As 2024's high-stakes election draws closer, a quiet yet powerful movement is taking shape in the background. Donald Trump's allies, seasoned veterans of his previous campaigns, are reportedly preparing for something big, something they believe might challenge the election's outcome if things don't go their way. But what exactly are they planning? And, perhaps more intriguingly, could we see a return of the controversial Stop the Steal movement? From fundraising drives to whisper networks of influencers, the groundwork is slowly and methodically being laid. But this time, it's not just about rallying the faithful. There are reports of new strategies being discussed behind closed doors, approaches more sophisticated than anything we've seen in previous election cycles. These plans are intended not only to rally supporters but to directly address the election's very outcome. So, what are these allies really preparing for? We've seen rallies and grassroots support before, but this time, the players are different. Many of Trump's inner circle have shifted their strategies, aiming to weave narratives into the public psyche far earlier than in past elections. Familiar names and faces have been emerging in press conferences, podcasts, and high-profile interviews, each subtly hinting at their dissatisfaction with the current political system. But is this just talk? Or is it the precursor to something bigger? Several sources close to the action suggest that these allies have formed new coalitions, pulling in individuals from both within and outside the traditional conservative establishment. The goal? To make sure their narrative resonates far and wide. And unlike previous years, it's not limited to battleground states or conservative strongholds. By establishing a broad network of supporters, allies hope to ignite passion across a wider base, making it harder for any single entity to dismiss their claims. Could this well-oiled machine be the secret ingredient that turns the 2024 election season upside down? One particular element stirs curiosity: legal teams. Trump's allies have reportedly invested heavily in legal resources, hiring a lineup of attorneys well-versed in election law. Are they expecting litigation? While it's too early to say, these legal preparations raise questions. Could there be preemptive lawsuits waiting to be unleashed as soon as results are called? And what might that mean for the stability of an already polarized political landscape? Yet, as the movement inches forward, there's a darker undercurrent. Some worry that a resurrection of Stop the Steal could be even more disruptive than in 2020, potentially leading to mass rallies or significant online activism if tensions escalate. Social media companies are already on high alert, monitoring for signs of misinformation. But will they be able to control the tide if things begin to spin out of control? And this is the big question: what impact could this movement have on the nation? The 2020 election saw a swell of distrust and political friction. Could we be headed down the same path, or will the actions of Trump's allies ultimately steer things in a new direction? The answer is uncertain, but one thing is clear: the groundwork being laid has the potential to shake the 2024 election cycle. As we inch closer to election night, the tension will only grow. And while it's hard to predict exactly what will happen, there's an undeniable energy building, a suspenseful wait for what could be the start of a historic showdown. What happens next? Only time will tell. But if Trump's allies have their way, 2024 might just be the year when the unexpected becomes reality.